My three pillars are meditation, gratitude, and affirmations. I believe that these are important tools that help you with nurturing your soul. I believe we were made up of mind, body, and soul, and we need to nurture all three aspects of ourselves in order to live life fully and whole. My experience has taught me that nurturing the soul is the missing link. I'm somebody who has been searching for this thing called peace since the age of 22. And only now, at the age of 43, 20 years later, after incorporating gratitude, meditation, and affirmations daily into my life, can I finally say I have found this thing called peace. And that is why I do the work that I do now, because of the transformation that I have experienced from applying gratitude, meditation, and affirmations daily in my life. I feel the call to share this, to share the knowledge of these tools, and to show other people how to use them so they can implement them in their life. I'm Shay, and my goal here is to empower. So, my story begins from a very young age. I had a very tumultuous childhood. By the time I was 9 years old, I had already been through two women's shelters with my mom. And then at 12 years old, my mom passed away. That left me to deal with my abusive father. And then at the age of 16, I ran away from home because home was not a safe place for me anymore. Fast forward, took me a while to kind of get myself together, but by the time I hit about 22, I managed to get a nanny job. I got myself back into university, and I was like, oh, I'm doing good. I thought I was doing good, but in reality, my mental health was not well and my emotions were a mess. Um, the last couple of years were spent surviving. So I didn't really have time to process all the stuff that had happened in childhood. So when I finally had all my physical needs taken care of, it was like the mental and emotional stuff became very apparent that it needed to be dealt with. And I needed to be dealt with because I could feel it in my reactions. I would overreact over the simplest things. And I was carrying this bitterness, this anger inside of me, resentment at the world. Why this life? And then the pain of abandonment, right? The pain of being an orphan and all that came with it. So I started my healing journey. I made a promise to myself that I would try to heal these parts of me. And true healing finally happened when I embraced and started nurturing my soul. So, after 2 years of practicing meditation, gratitude, and affirmations daily, the biggest change that I can say that I have experienced, which is also the best change, is that I have learned to become my own best friend. I have learned to understand what I need, and I've learned to also give myself what I need. I recognize when I need something and I'm able to give it to myself when I need something. And I give it to myself. I give myself what I need through meditation, through the gratitude, through the affirmations. And that's why it's just so powerful, because not only do these tools help you become aware, they also become the vehicle and avenue that you use to nurture yourself. When I first started, the changes were not as apparent. The changes were actually very subtle. The first major change that I realized or started experiencing was just that there was a bit of a more calm in my life, right? It wasn't until I would say now, about a year in, or now 2 years in, that I could say that I can really, really see the impact of applying these tools in my life. One of the changes, among many, One that I want to highlight is the ability to change and break old patterns. So my old habit, whenever a stressful situation will come up, is to go into poor me, why me, right? And it's actually a result of just me repeating my reactions when I was in my trauma time, right? But I never learned, I just kept repeating what I knew, right? And it wasn't until I applied these tools, meditation, gratitude, and affirmation, that I became aware that when I was in stressful situations, I was reverting to the old patterns of coping, right? So through these tools, I've been able to become aware of what's not working for me. And then through these tools, I've been able to retrain myself and get myself to a place where I am functioning in more healthy ways. So over time, what has happened is my reaction to stress has changed, right? Instead of the old unhealthy patterns, I've been able to recognize what wasn't working for me and then actually come back and create new healthy patterns that do work for me. Because I can give myself what I need and I'm able to soothe myself, I need less and less validation from external, right? The internal validation is enough. Like the growth process that has come out of practicing these tools for the last 2 years has been amazing. You know, like I'm somebody who felt like I didn't have a place in this world. You know, the stigma of being an orphan, of not having any parents to kind of give me that unconditional love. For the longest time, I thought that I wasn't really worthy of love. Like, how could anybody love me? I don't, even when my own parents, I don't have any parents to love me. Like that core, fundamental, unconditional love, I never experienced. So to be able to get to this place today where I can give that to me, even though it was never provided to me in my life, that's so powerful. It's so empowering. It's so, and I was just like, I need to share this. I need to show other people how these tools work. I need to show them that they can implement them in their life and that they can create change, that they can heal, and that they can be whoever they want to be. So, how do these tools actually work? For the sake of time, I can't really get into all of them, but I'll give you a brief overview of how some of the things that can arise when you apply, or what's actually happening in the background when you apply these tools. So let's take meditation. One of the things that meditation will help you with is it will help you bring a calm to your life, right? So how does that work? We have this thing in our brains called the amygdala. And the amygdala is responsible for the fight and flight response in our systems. When the amygdala is triggered, we go into survival mode, right? Survival mean as in like life or death, high alerts, right? And so decisions are made in like split seconds because it's a life or death situation, right? So it's very reactionary, it's very instinctual. When we are stressed, we also trigger the amygdala, right? We don't have the old situation where, you know, where it's the survival thing and it's the danger of animals attacking us and stuff like that. That's why the amygdala was working so well for us. Now our amygdala gets triggered by daily stress, you know, our modern day life. And the thing is, it's getting triggered all the time, right? We're all kind of in this constant state of stress. So the amygdala is constantly being triggered. And as a result of that, we're always on high alert. We're always like this, right? We're in survival mode and everything is reactionary. This doesn't serve us right now. This does not serve us. And so how does meditation help? Well, how does it not serve us? It doesn't serve us because when you're always in this heightened state of awareness, your body cannot relax. Your body cannot rest. It cannot repair. It cannot rejuvenate because it's always on. And as a result of being always on, then that's how you get the constant fatigue, right? Constant tiredness. And then that's when you open yourself up to ailments. You open yourself up to sickness because your body is weak from being in this heightened state of awareness all the time. Meditation, when you meditate, it actually calms the amygdala. And when you calm the amygdala, you calm the mind. And when you calm the mind, you calm the body. And actually, the mind and body have a very reciprocal relationship. When you calm the body, you calm the mind. When you calm the mind, you calm the body. So when you meditate, you calm your amygdala. And then you send the signal to your body that it's not do or die. It's not about survival. So then you release that heightened state, right? And you start operating from a more neutral state instead of that. So now your body can relax, right? And then you can experience that calmness. And then that calmness eventually will stay with you longer the more you meditate, right? When you first start to meditate, you'll experience calmness for a little bit and it won't be as long. It won't last as long. But with repetition, with the daily meditation practice, the calmness will stay with you longer. You will be able to hold your state of calmness better. So that's one of the ways meditation works. Meditation does actually help. It affects you physically, and it does also affect you spiritually, and it affects your mind. That's the beauty of meditation, is that it connects your mind, body, and soul. Affirmations. Let's talk about affirmations. I know that this one can be a tricky one because when I first came across affirmations, I was kind of like, really? They work? How? If I just say, I am beautiful, I'm going to feel it. Well, I didn't. I remember saying it and I'm like, I don't feel it. So I had to do a little bit of reading and just kind of like really figure out what the power or how it works. And the power of power of affirmations is in the repetition, in the repetitive feedback loop. Basically, what you are doing is when you say an affirmation to yourself is you are making a statement, right? You're sending yourself this message, and the constant repetition of this message, the repetition is what makes it work. And it's based on the idea that what you focus on grows. What you give your attention to becomes real. So by feeding yourself these positive statements constantly, repetitively, daily, eventually your mind will start to accept those ideas, those concepts. In the beginning, no, right? Because it's foreign, it's not familiar. But through the repetition and putting it in your focus, in your realm, within your sphere, so that it's always kind of, you're always aware of it, right? That's the power of the affirmation. And then eventually what happens is what felt foreign and unfamiliar over time will start to become familiar and comfortable, right? And when you get comfortable and familiar with something, there's a part of you that starts to be able to embrace it easier. It becomes easier to accept and embody. So that is the power of affirmations, is the repetition. So saying it once is not going to do much for you, but it's repeatedly saying it to yourself. That's really where it helps. Now, when you work with affirmations, there's two things that you need to keep in mind. One, they always need to be positive. So when you write an affirmation, you never say, I am not going to do this. It's always in that positive tense. And the intention behind an affirmation is important too, right? You need to make sure that you believe in that, or that, actually, let me take that back. In order for an affirmation to be actually truly powerful, you have to take it seriously, because an affirmation is basically a promise to yourself. It's a reminder of the promise that you made to yourself. It's a statement of who and what you want to be. So in order for an affirmation to work properly, you have to take it seriously. You have to want and be that thing that you desire or state. And then the second thing is, when you write an affirmation, it needs to be in present tense. Present tense meaning it is true as of right now. Not true in the past. It's not going to be true in the future. When you write your affirmation, it has to be true as of right now. That's how you write it. That's how you state it. Because by stating that, that's how it works. Does that make sense? Because you can't be something in the future. You can't be something in the past is already gone. It has to be right now, because the power is in the present. So let's talk about gratitude. Gratitude. Out of all of the tools, I would say gratitude is the easiest one to implement and incorporate right away, because gratitude has to do with perspective. And so I have used gratitude and leaned into it actually very heavily in the last 18 months. I have learned that gratitude has the ability to shift and transmute. Gratitude has helped me turn what I have into enough. And what do I mean by that? So my husband has been diagnosed with spinal cord damage, and this was 18 months ago. And they told us that basically his body would deteriorate until he got surgery. And then once he got surgery, then his recovery period was unknown. It could be 1 year, 2 years, 5 years. Nobody will give us an answer. All we know is that he'll stop deteriorating once he gets the surgery. And then after surgery, it's open for how he recovers. While we were waiting for surgery, our biggest fear was that he would lose his ability to walk. Because at that point, he had already lost his ability to run. When he tries to run, he just falls flat on his face and trips. And his ability to walk was going very soon. It was at the point where he had to consciously think about telling his body how to walk because of the nerve damage. So we are about 18 months ahead now. My husband is doing well, but there have been times where I have felt the heavy weight of carrying everything for the last little while. As a result of him being not well and the surgery, he's not able to work. So I'm taking care of the family right now. On top of that, he's not physically well and he's physically disabled. So I have to physically take care of him as well. And the family and the business and work and all of that. And I'm doing it all with strides. But there are times where, especially on the days when he can't get out of bed because he's in a lot of pain, or there was a moment there where I felt like we had plateaued, where we were moving forward, but then like 2 steps back, we move 1 step forward and then 4 steps back. I just felt like, oh my God, is he ever going to get better? Is he going to be like this for the rest of his life? Am I going to have to carry everything forever? And on those days, when I know that mindset is not going to serve me, it's like, but how do I shift? And this is when I use gratitude. I lean into the fact that he can still walk. And this is one of my mantras. So for gratitude, what I've done is I have 5 mantras that I use to help me sink deeper with gratitude when I need to use gratitude, because gratitude can help you when you're going through challenging times. So one of the mantras I have is, what is life like without? So on the days when my heart feels heavy from carrying everything for so long, especially since it's been like over a year, on days when I feel sorry for myself, or I feel like there's not a lot of hope, then I turn to gratitude and I practice, what is life like without? And I sit in the thought of, what would it be like if he couldn't walk? He can't run, but he can walk. So if I'm going to feel sorry for myself, let's just go there then. Okay, what would life like if he could not walk? And then honestly, that sets me right pretty much within a minute or two. Because when I think about what life would be like if he couldn't walk, that means he'd be relying on me completely for everything. At least now he can do some things independently, So when I lean into that, I'm able to shift. I am able to shift from the poor me, why me, to an empowered space, to a space where I say, okay, you can do this, Shay. It's not that bad, actually. It could be worse. And it's just one day. And that's all you got to do is just look at it as one day, right? Because tomorrow's a different day. Like it didn't change anything. He's still not getting out of bed that day, but I've changed. I've shifted out of a space where that was not serving me and bringing me down to a place where I can actually operate with grace. Because when I can make that shift, then I can show up for my kids with grace. I don't carry that sadness, that heaviness with me, and then pass it on to them. So that is how I use gratitude. I use gratitude in many ways, right? But if there's any one of these tools that you are going to implement right away, or easiest to implement, then I would say gratitude. And to help with that, I have created a gratitude guided meditation. Because sometimes you need a little help to feel gratitude, right? So that's what this guided meditation is for. It's to bring it, there's prompts for gratitude, things so that you can start thinking about things in your life and immerse yourself in gratitude. And hopefully you'll be able to find that shift for when you need it. My message to you is this. If you want to create change in your life, if you know that there are things that you are doing that you shouldn't be doing and you want to make a change, but you're not sure how, or you're stuck in old patterns, or you just want to find more calm in your day, then I highly encourage you to give meditation, gratitude, and affirmations a try. Out of all of them, I recommend trying gratitude first, because that's the first one and easiest to implement. And if you need help with that, you can always use my guided meditation, which is my gift for this event. And I hope that you find that the guided meditation is helpful and supportive. I believe in peace. I believe that peace is attainable. And the way to finding peace is through gratitude, meditation, and affirmations. You can also use these tools to help you find calm in your life, to find balance in your life. You can also use these tools to transform and heal. It's up to you how you want to use these tools. I'm here to show you how to use these tools and how to apply them in your life. So when you're ready,